So we got Shannon Sharpe ranking his top 5 quarterbacks heading into the 2024 season. PFF places their odds on who's the most likely team to win the AFC North. We also got Marlon Humphrey letting Patrick Queen have it with some funny social media beef. Ray Lewis sharing some knowledge with Zay Flowers and much more Baltimore Ravens news. So welcome in to another episode of Ravens Reports. It's your guy Noah here with For the Flock. As always, bringing you guys our top 5 news reports and storylines coming out of our Baltimore Ravens today. I hope you guys are having a great day. Just wanted to come at you guys with a quick update. I know there hasn't been a lot going on with our Ravens the last few weeks here. It's kind of that, quiet period in June right before training camp kicks off, which is actually going to be July 13th whenever the rookies report in, July 20th when the vets report in. So that's right around the corner. We're going to have all of the training camp updates and reports coming for you guys, so make sure you got that subscribe button on so we can keep you up to date on everything Baltimore Ravens, man. I apologize we haven't been uploading much. We had some family in from out of town, but the good news is I have 46 days left until I'm officially off of active duty in the Marine Corps, and then all of my work time from that point on is going to be going into this channel, providing you guys with the best Ravens coverage as I possibly can, and I'm looking forward to it, man. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And another update is I'll actually be away from July 1st to about July 11th. I'm actually going to Brazil on a mission trip with my church. We're going to go share the love of Jesus, the gospel, to as many people as we can there in Brazil and do a vacation Bible school and some other stuff. I'm looking forward to that. So we won't have a lot of uploads, obviously, between then. I may pre-record some videos to have published while I'm away, but just wanted to keep you guys up to date on everything that's going on, especially for the Flock family that's been riding along here for the last year or two, man. I appreciate you guys. Let's dive in to the content. At number 1, Shannon Sharpe ranks his top 5 quarterbacks. And let me just say, in my humble opinion, right, if you have Lamar Jackson anywhere lower than number 2, it's probably not an accurate list. But, that's coming obviously from the purple shaded Baltimore Ravens fan here. Here's what Shannon Sharpe had to say, along with what Chad Johnson had to say.
Ocho, C.J. Stroud tells Gillian Wale his top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL based off last year. Me, I would take Mahomes, Lamar. I would take C.J. Stroud, Jordan Love, Josh Allen.
My 5 would be Patrick Mahomes. My 2 would be Joe Burrow. And after that, I'd probably go Lamar Jackson.
Okay, who you got 4 and 5 then?
My 4 and 5, it's kind of interchangeable. I like Jordan Love. I can have Jordan Love there. I can have Jalen Hurts there at 4. Dak has to go in that top 5 for what he's done.
If we have a draft right now, and you get to draft Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, or Josh Allen.
Woo! Shoot, that's a good one. Who you taking?
I would take Josh Allen for the simple fact he's going to throw 30 touchdowns and he's going to run for another 12.
Ocho Cinco has Lamar coming in at number 3. Obviously, he's got to ride with his Bengal, Burrow there, who's obviously made it to a Super Bowl and has some really good accomplishments under his belt as well. But I'm still riding with my guy Lamar. And obviously Patrick Mahomes, you can't leave him off of the number 1 spot, having 3 Super Bowls already, at 28 years old, making it to the AFC Championship like every single year. They have really built a dynasty there in Kansas City, and I'm hoping this is the year that the Ravens can overthrow them. I thought it would be last year, and I thought Lamar was going to go grab his first Super Bowl ring and grab the Baltimore Ravens' 3rd overall ring, but we fell short, didn't get the job done. We saw some mistakes, the fumble by Flowers, some other stuff, right? The turnover, the strip sack on Lamar, but that's in the past. It's a brand new season. I'm looking forward to what the Ravens can do this year, and I do think they have what it takes, especially with some of the pieces added. The year 2 in this offense with Todd Monken, the Derrick Henry addition, Zay Flowers in year 2, the tight ends we have. It's going to be a really potent offense. It's going to be a good defense as well. At number 2, speaking of Zay Flowers, here's a little clip of Ray Lewis talking to our guy, Zay Flowers, who I think is going to have a monster year. Obviously, I think Ray Lewis is providing some encouragement like, hey, we have no idea what he's saying here, but if I had to guess, it's probably something like, hey, when you hit adversity, what defines you is what you do next with that adversity, and probably sharing some stuff about how they fell short the year before they went and won the Super Bowl. Even with a less competitive team, a less overall roster, they still win. They still went and won that Super Bowl. And I think, Ray Lewis mentoring, coaching, counseling, or guiding anyone on our Baltimore Ravens cannot be a bad thing. This is great. And Zay Flowers, we saw flashes of like star wide receiver ability last year. He had 1,000 yards when you throw in the playoff stats as well. Obviously made a huge impact in the Chiefs game, but also had the costly fumble right there at the goal line. He's super talented to make you miss after the ball's in his hands, the route running, the wiggle, the downfield speed as well. We've seen him uncork, get loose downfield a couple times. Zay Flowers is going to be a difference-making wide receiver. I'm looking at a 1,100, 1,200 plus type of, season for Zay Flowers this upcoming year. That's how high I am on Zay Flowers. At number 3, we're talking about the Baltimore Ravens trying to get to a Super Bowl, and obviously the best way to do that is to win your division. Get the home field advantage in your first playoff game. If you don't get the bye, that's the easiest way to make it in, is win your division. And PFF has the playoff odds right here according to their statistical data. The Ravens had the highest probability to repeat as the AFC North champions at 40%. The Bengals right behind the Ravens at 31%. Then the Browns at 15%, Steelers at 14%. I will say 2 simple things here. Don't sleep on the Browns and or the Steelers. The Browns were starting to really come. Obviously, they made the playoffs last year with Joe Flacco. And Deshaun Watson had his best game against the Ravens and was starting to make some plays, getting some chemistry with the receivers. They traded for Jerry Jeudy. They got a really strong offensive line. They got a really strong defense with Myles Garrett and those corners and the secondary. And they have most of their coaching staff returning as well. So don't sleep on the Browns. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers, they were right there in the thick of things last year with poor quarterback play. And this year they added 2 much more talented quarterbacks, and Justin Fields, who I have always thought he's been underrated, and that the Bears just really did not use him to his full capabilities there in Chicago. Man, you see, the Bears had a different coaching staff every single year. He had no continuity. He didn't really have much weapons until they traded for DJ Moore. Then you saw him throwing bombs all over the field to DJ Moore, and then they trade him out because they had the number 1 overall pick. They reset their, window with Caleb Williams, and they traded Justin Fields to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's super talented. He almost broke Lamar Jackson's, rushing record in a season. He's got a big arm. He's got wheels. And then Russell Wilson's won a Super Bowl. And, he didn't really have the best situation with the poor offensive line there, with the Broncos last year. Even towards the end of the year, he was starting to put together some nice games and getting his rhythm back. And he's going to have a strong offensive line this year with the Steelers, a good head coach there with Mike Tomlin, a strong defense. So don't sleep on the Steelers. Don't sleep on the Browns. Again, I think the AFC North is probably going to be the toughest division in football, just as it was a year ago. At number 4, speaking of this division and the Pittsburgh Steelers, we lost one of our star defenders last year, Pro Bowl linebacker Patrick Queen, to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And while Queen was here in Baltimore, he was always super proud to be a Raven. I'm so glad they gave me a chance. I'm so happy to be a Raven. I love the city. I love the fans. And then all of a sudden, he goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Ravens in the city and the food, everything is just terrible. Baltimore's terrible, and Pittsburgh is amazing. And this is what keeps coming out on social media. The uniforms and the colors are better in Pittsburgh. The fans are better. The coaching staff, the locker, everything is better in Pittsburgh. And Marlon Humphrey had something to say about it on his podcast. I'm going to show you the audio clip real quick. Check it out.
I don't even understand why you had to go in on Baltimore like that. Pittsburgh, the city's better, the food's better, the color's better. I'm like, golly, what? Goodness gracious. What? So I don't know what PQ got going on. I know he's happy over there.
Good.
I'm not hating on Pittsburgh, I'm not hating on PQ, but I've been at the Ravens for a while. I've seen this same story go down with a lot of guys. Reality sets in eventually. Okay? But he seems to be happy over there. So shout out to, well, actually, no, we're not going to shout him out. But
at number 5, as we continue to talk about this division and the pedigree of these franchises that are in this division, check out the franchise winning percentage all time in the Super Bowl era. So the Baltimore Ravens are 3rd on this list with a .569. So they win more than they lose. And they're the 3rd most winning team in the National Football League. They also have 2 Super Bowl championships in a relatively short amount of time. And then at first and second is the Dallas Cowboys with a .599 and the Pittsburgh Steelers with a .589. The Steelers are in this thing every single year. They're well coached, well ran in the front office, and they really just upgraded their offensive line, which if you look at last year, we did struggle in our run defense against Najee Harris kind of wearing us down, and Jalen Warren. They had some success with multiple games over 100 rushing yards against our defense, and that's against a good defensive line with Michael Pierce and Travis Jones and Broderick Washington and Justin Madubuike, right, against two good linebackers last year with Queen and Roquan Smith. They had some success on the ground against us. And Pittsburgh, they beefed up that offensive line, grabbing multiple guys in free agency and the draft. First round pick was a offensive tackle who can play guard as well. That's going to upgrade their running game. So be on the lookout for the Steelers. And just saying, I do think the Ravens are the better football team, but just saying, don't sleep on the Steelers. This division is going to be really tough. But I can't wait for it, man. That's why football is so fun. That's why, there's all this talk and hype and all this stuff up to the games. And then the games come and there's so much excitement and anticipation, and then anything can happen on Sundays. And that's why I love covering our Ravens, love covering football. It'll be a blast this upcoming year. We got the training camp right around the corner, then preseason games, and the season will be right here, man. So make sure you got that subscribe and notification bell on so we can keep you up to date on all of your Ravens news and content, man. I love you guys. Don't forget to smash the like button if you got any value out of today's content, and we'll see you in the next video.
Ray, when he wasn't looking, he ran me over.